Hello children, today we will start our discussion from a mechanism of electrolysis. Okay, so in this lecture we will discuss the mechanism of electrolysis, how electrolysis is taking place. So the process or mechanism of electrolysis was first explained by a Swedish chemist Avante Arrhenius in 1887, and the findings or postulates of his theory are as follows. So the first point, an electrolyte on dissolving in water dissociates into free cations. Free cations, which are also known as positive ions, and anions, which are also known as negative ions, and allows the flow of electric current through it. Okay, so according to this first point, when electrolyte is dissolved in water, it dissociated in the form of ions, positive and negative ions, and hence allows the flow of electric current. Then the degree of dissociation is the extent to which an electrolyte dissociates or breaks up into ions. Okay students, so how much number of molecules of the electrolyte are converted in the form of ions will be known as the degree of dissociation. Okay, so out of molecules of electrolyte which we have taken, how many molecules get converted in the form of ions? So the ratio of molecule which are forming ion with total molecules taken, this will be known as degree of dissociation. Okay students, next point, all ions carry an electric charge and are responsible for the flow of current through the solution. So ions are the responsible for the flow of current in electrolyte. Okay, the amount of electricity conducted by the electrolyte depends upon the concentration of the ions. Means if the number of ions will be greater, the amount of electric current which will be passed through the solution will also greater. Okay, so 2 points keep in your mind, that in electrolyte ions are the responsible for the flow of electricity, and the amount of the electricity is depend on the amount or concentration of the ions. Next point, the number of positive charges on the ions equals the number of negative charges, and so the solution is in electric equilibrium. Okay, so you all know that each electrolyte molecule is made up of equal number of positively and negatively charged units. Okay, so for example, NaCl, Na is having single positive charge, so Cl is having single negative charge. Okay, so when one molecule of any electrolyte will dissociate in the solution, then it will form equal number of positive and negative charges, okay, in the form of ions. So overall the electrolytic solution will be in the condition of equilibrium. Okay, and equilibrium is also established between the ions produced and unionized molecules. Okay, so second equilibrium, there will be two equilibrium in the electrolytic solution between the negative and positive charges. Okay, and the second in the equilibrium between the dissociated and undissociated molecules. Dissociated molecules means ions, and undissociated molecules. So there will be two types of equilibrium in electrolytic solution. Then next heading is characteristics of electrolysis. So the passage of electricity through an electrolyte causes the metallic ions or cations to migrate towards the cathode. So positive ions will migrate towards the cathode. Cathode is the negative pole of the cell, and non-metallic ions means anions will migrate towards the anode. Anode is positive pole of the electrolytic cell. The preferential discharge of the ions depends on its position in the electrochemical series. Preferential discharge. Okay, so if in an electrolytic solution more than one type of negative or positive ions are formed, more than one type of negative or positive ions are formed, then which positive or negative ion out of more than one, which positive or negative ion will be preferentially discharged on the related electrode. Okay, so this is known as preferential discharge of the ions. Okay, for example, if any electrolyte SO4 2- and OH-, these two negatively charged ions are present, so out of these two, one will be discharged only at the anode. Okay, so one will be discharged here out of these two ions. OH- will be discharged at anode. So this discharge of OH will be known as preferential discharge. Okay, so preferential discharge means if more than one positive or negative ions are present in electrolytic solution, so out of more than one positive negative ions, which one is going to discharge on the particular electrode. So this is known as preferential discharge. Then the number of electrons gained by the anode is equal to the number of electrons donated by the cathode. Next point, the products of electrolysis are formed at the anode and cathode itself, since the exchange of electrons takes place only at the surface of the electrodes. So products are forming at electrodes only, because the exchange of electron is taking place at the surface of related electrodes. Next point, only hydrogen gas and metals are liberated at the cathode and are hence called electropositive elements. Okay, so hydrogen and metals are discharged or collected at cathode, and that is why these elements are known as electropositive elements. Only non-metals are liberated at the anode, and that is why these non-metals are called as electronegative elements. Okay, so on the basis of the discharge of the related element, they are considered as electropositive element or electronegative elements. So electropositive elements get discharged on the cathode and electronegative elements get discharged on the anode. Next heading, electrolytic dissociation. So you all know that dissociation means separation, only separation, and it is a reversible reaction, dissociation. So the process due to which an ionic compound in the fused state or in aqueous solution state dissociates into ions by passage of electric current through it is called electrolytic dissociation. Okay, so in electrolytic solution, when electricity is passed, the ions get separated, which is known as dissociation. Comparison between electrolytic dissociation and ionization. So in electrolytic dissociation, Electrolytic dissociation is a process which takes place in electrovalent compounds. First thing. Then second point, it involves separation of ions of the ions which are already present in an ionic compound. So ions which are already present together get separated under electrolytic dissociation. But in ionization is a process which takes place in covalent compounds. So dissociation in electrovalent compound and ionization in covalent compounds. It involves formation of charged ions from the molecules which are not in ionic state. Okay, so in covalent compounds, ions are not there, but ions are formed from the molecules. So the formation of ions from the molecules and then their separation is known as ionization. So under ionization, formation of ion is taking place. Okay, students. For dissociation, example, lead bromide, which is already having ions, is get decomposed when electricity is passed in the form of lead ions and bromide ions. HCl is a covalent compound. It is made up of atoms which are sharing electrons. So ions are not present here. But when electricity is passed, this molecular unit converted in the form of ions and get separated. Okay. Ionization may also involve atoms changing into ions. So you can write this statement also for the ionization. Atoms changes in the form of ions. So this is known as ionization. Okay, students. Next page. Next heading, electrolytic dissociation of ionic compounds. So solid sodium chloride is taken as example here. Solid sodium chloride is a non-electrolyte and does not allow electricity to pass through it, but dissociates in the molten or in aqueous solution state. So solid sodium chloride is non-electrolyte, whereas aqueous or molten electrolyte is an aqueous or molten sodium chloride is an electrolyte, and its aqueous or molten form gets separated in the form of ions. So sodium chloride will conduct electricity only in fused or aqueous solution state. Why? Due to the presence of mobile or free ions, because in electrolytes free ions are responsible for the passage of electricity. In the molten state, ionic compounds, example NaCl, contain positively charged metallic ions and negatively charged non-metallic ions. These ions are not free but held together by a strong electrostatic force of attraction. Due to this, an ionic compound in the solid state is a bad conductor of electricity. So in the solid state, ions are bonded with each other due to the strong electrostatic forces, and so ions are not free, and that is why they are not able to conduct electricity in their solid condition. When an ionic compound is heated strongly, the ions gain kinetic energy and break loose and move freely. The molten solution then becomes a good conductor of electricity. So due to the presence of free ions, molten solution is conductor of electricity. So as you can see here, in solid state, in sodium chloride, NaCl, ions are bonded with each other due to the strong electrostatic forces of attraction. Now when this solid form of NaCl is heated, then these electrostatic forces get disappeared, ions changes in the form of free state, and these free ions can conduct electricity. In the aqueous solution state, what happens? Water is a polar solvent and exhibits charge distribution in its molecule. So polar solvent, oxygen is more electronegative than related hydrogens. So that is why, due to its higher electronegativity, oxygen becomes partially negatively charged, whereas related hydrogen atoms attains partial positive charge. Okay, so water molecule is present in the form of polar molecule because it is having polar covalent bonds between oxygen and hydrogen. In water, each hydrogen atom develops a slight positive charge, while the oxygen atom develops a slight negative charge. When sodium chloride is dissolved in water, it dissociates into sodium ions and chloride ions, which move freely in solution. This is due to the fact that the slightly negatively charged oxygen atoms of the water exerts a pull on the positively charged sodium ions. A similar pull is exerted by the slightly positively charged hydrogen atoms of the water on the negatively charged chloride ions. So sodium and chloride ions become free in solution. So as you can see from here, when we dissolve NaCl in water, so oxygen atom of the water molecule, oxygen atom which is slightly negatively charged, attracts sodium ion of the sodium chloride towards itself, and against to this force of attraction, hydrogen atoms of water molecule which are partially positively charged attract negatively charged chloride ions towards itself. Okay, so due to these two opposite force of attractions, these two ions get separated in the form of free Na plus and Cl minus ions. Okay, so in the presence of water, separation of ions are taking place in this way only. Positively charged ions get attracted by the partially positively charged atoms of the water molecules. Okay students, this much in this lecture. Thank you very much.